What's happening, class? Hope all's well. The goal for you tonight, alright, is for you to be able to find the volume of a square pyramid. Alright, so this is going to be the last figure we try and find the volume of. Alright, so we got a square pyramid over here. Alright, square pyramid, remember, it's a square pyramid, which means the base is a square. Alright, I know that looks like a rhombus right now, but the only reason it does is because we're looking at it from an angle. Alright, but that's a square. A square pyramid, alright, here's a definition for you. It's a 3D object with a square base and triangular faces that meet at a point. Alright, and as you can see, it's pretty obvious. We've got a square base, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles that all meet at one point right up there. It's actually, put a star next to this. Right. Label the top of this pyramid as the apex. Alright, that's the special name for it. The apex. A-P-E-X. So put a star next to that and label the top of that pyramid. Alright, now the bottom, of course, you've got your base. Alright, but here's the important thing about a pyramid, a square pyramid. The height that you're going to use in the formula is the height from the center of the square straight up to that point, to that apex. That's considered the height. Alright? So I want you to write that down. Put a star next to that. The height of a square pyramid is from the center of the base straight up to the top of the apex. Alright, write that down, put a star next to it. The height of a square pyramid is measured from the center of the base straight up to the top of the apex. Alright, put a star next to that. It's not the distance from the middle of the triangle to the top. Alright, that's the height of the triangle. Alright, we need to know the height of the pyramid. Okay? So, get that down. On to the next slide. Alright, this is the formula that we are going to use to find the volume of a square pyramid. Alright, we're going to multiply 1/3 times the area of the base times the height of our pyramid. Alright? Now, I remember we went over this class. A triangular prism it's got half the volume of a rectangular prism. Alright? This square pyramid, if we put that inside of a rectangular prism that was 4 by 4 by 3, alright, it would take up a third. It would take up 1/3 of that rectangular prism. That's why we use 1/3 in the formula. Alright, so here as an example, I've got a square pyramid. I've got a base of 4 meters. That means all the sides are 4 meters because it's a square. And the height is going to be 3 meters. Alright, so to find the area, to find the volume, you gotta multiply 1/3 times the area of the base, which the area of the base is determined by doing length times width, which is 4 times 4. Excuse me. And then multiplying that by the height. Alright, so 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 3 is 48. And 1/3 of 48 is 16. Alright, now I want you to put a star next to this and write this down. Multiplying a number by 1/3 is the same thing as dividing that number by 3. Alright, write that down, put a star next to it. Multiplying 1/3, alright, times a number is exactly the same thing as taking that number and dividing it by 3. Just like finding out what 1/2 times 10 is the same thing as taking 10 and dividing it by 2 and you get 5. Alright, so in this case, you got to divide 48 by 3, or multiply 1/3 times 48. When you do that, you get 16 cubic meters. So that's the volume of that square pyramid. Alright? Next slide. Okay. So now, what we need to do is solve for the volume of these square pyramids. So I've got a couple of them set up here. Now, just because, class, this square pyramid's upside down, alright, doesn't mean anything's changed. Alright, you just got to be able to visualize that this pyramid, you could still flip it and then put it on its square base. Alright, but right now, the angle that you're looking at it is upside down. Alright, so I've got my bases, those side lengths are each 3 feet, and the height from the center of the square to the apex, that point, that top point of the pyramid, is 6 feet. So I've got to use my formula. Volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So 1/3 times 3 times 3 times 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 6 is 54. And 1/3 of 54 is 18. So the volume of that square pyramid is 18 cubic feet. And actually, class, if you don't want to multiply these first, you can find out what 1/3 of 9 is. Alright, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 3 times 6 is, 18. Alright, so since you're multiplying all of these together, it doesn't matter what order you do them in. Alright, that's up to you. Next one. Alright, this square pyramid. The bases are all 2 meters. The height is 3 meters. So to find the volume, you gotta multiply 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So 1/3 times 2 times 2 to find the area of the base, which is 4, and then you gotta multiply that by the height of the pyramid, which is 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and 1/3 of 12, or 12 divided by 3, is going to give us 4. So the volume of that square pyramid is 4 cubic meters. Alright? Now, last slide. Okay. I want you to pause this video, alright, and try and solve for the volume of these pyramids on your own. That one looks normal, it's a little shorter. This one I actually turned sideways, but that's still the square base. Alright, that's its true base, that square. And you've got the distance from the center of the square to the apex. Alright, so I want you to try and find the volume using our formula, and I'll be back to see if you got them right. Okay. Alright, so the volume of that pyramid. Alright, let's work it out. Volume V equals 1/3 times the base area times the height. Alright, now to find the area of the base, we gotta do 9 times 9, because that's the length and width of the square. 9 and 9. So I'm gonna do V equals 1/3 times 9 times 9 times the height, which in this case is 4 yards, so times 4. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's in parentheses. I'm going to multiply 9 times 9, and I'm going to get 81. So V equals 1/3 times 81 times 4. Alright, now I'm going to take 81, multiply it by 4, and I'm going to get 324. Alright, so V equals 1/3 times 324. Now I gotta find out what 1/3 of 324 is, so I gotta divide 324 by 3. When you do that, you're gonna get 108. So your volume for this pyramid is gonna be 108 cubic yards. Alright, and that's what you should have gotten when you worked out that problem. Alright, last one. Formula again. Alright, V equals 1/3 times the base area times the height. Alright, so I gotta find the area of the base. The height from the center of the square to the apex is 6 centimeters. And the area of the base, well, the square is 5 by 5. So I gotta multiply 5 times 5 to find the area of the base. So volume V equals 1/3 times 5 times 5 for the area of the base times the height, which is 6. Now, 5 times 5 is 25. So when you multiply those out, V ends up giving you 1/3 times 25 times 6. When you multiply 25 times 6, you're going to get 150. So V volume equals 1/3 times 150. Now I gotta find out what a third of 150 is, or take 150 and divide it by 3. When you do that, you should have gotten 50 for your volume. So V ends up equaling 50 cubic centimeters. Alright, that's what you should have gotten for the very last one. Alright, but that's it, class. Alright, that's it for volume. At least Math 7, that's it for volume. Alright, so see you guys when we get back, and I hope you're having a great night. Alright, peace.